Crisp, sweet, and refreshing, apple juice is loved by millions worldwide. For thousands of years, apples have been more than just a tasty snack. In ancient Rome, freshly crushed apple drinks were a staple at feasts, while medieval Europeans turned them into celebratory ciders. Apples weren't just beverages either. In ancient Greece, tossing an apple to someone was practically a marriage proposal. Medieval healers even relied on apples to treat everything from stomach pains to the plague. Today, apples are still a global favorite, packed in lunchboxes, baked into pies, or poured over ice at breakfast. So, exactly how does an apple travel from the orchard to become your favorite morning refreshment? Today, we're taking you out to the orchard, through the juicing and bottling process, and around the globe to see how different cultures enjoy this beloved beverage. Get ready for an apple-filled adventure, because apple juice is more than just a drink. It's a tradition that's evolved deliciously through history. Did you know apples are related to roses? It's true. Apples belong to the Rosaceae family, along with pears, peaches, and yes, even roses. No wonder apple blossoms have such a sweet aroma. Worldwide, there are over 7,500 different types of apples, each unique in taste and texture. Granny Smith apples offer that mouth-watering tartness. Honeycrisps are delightfully sweet, and Fujis strike a perfect balance. With so many apples to choose from, juice makers prefer blends like Fuji, Gala, and Golden Delicious, providing the perfect harmony of sweetness and acidity. Now, let's head to the orchard, where millions of apples bask under the sun, ripening for juice-making perfection. Apple orchards aren't just peaceful countryside spots, they're the bustling starting point for a massive global operation. Worldwide, over 5 million tons of apple juice are produced each year. And to keep pace, orchards use a combination of careful tradition and modern technology. On smaller farms, harvesters hand-pick apples, preserving centuries-old methods. But for larger-scale production, bring on the giant machines. Mechanical harvesters gently shake the trees, causing ripe apples to fall onto soft, padded conveyors below. Efficient yet surprisingly gentle. After being carefully sorted and loaded into large crates, these apples make their way to processing facilities as quickly as possible. Speed is key. Fresher apples make better juice. Here's a fun fact to impress your friends. Apples aren't berries, they're palms. That means they have a fleshy fruit layer surrounding a central core filled with seeds. So next time someone argues over apples being berries, you'll have the winning answer. Once the apples reach the processing facility, their journey from fresh fruit to bottled juice begins. But before they can be turned into liquid gold, they go through a rigorous industrial-scale cleaning process to ensure every batch is as pure as possible. The apples ride along conveyor belts into a deep cleaning system designed to remove every trace of dirt, dust, and even microscopic insects. High-pressure water jets blast away surface contaminants, while rotating brushes scrub the apples clean. Some facilities also use a mild, food-safe detergent to break down any natural waxes or residues left on the skin. This isn't just about cleanliness. Even the tiniest bit of unwanted material can impact the taste, color, and clarity of the juice. Once the apples are spotless, they head to the grinding stage. Here, massive industrial grinders with razor-sharp blades tear the fruit into a fine, pulpy mash. This step is crucial because the smaller the apple pieces, the more juice can be extracted. It's like making applesauce, but on an enormous scale and with much more precision. Next, the freshly ground apple mash is funneled into a hydraulic press, a powerful machine that applies immense pressure, sometimes up to 50 pounds per square inch, to squeeze out every possible drop of juice. The more pressure applied, the more juice is extracted, leaving behind only the solid remains of the apple. After pressing, what's left is pomace, a thick, fibrous mixture of apple peels, seeds, and pulp. But nothing goes to waste. Many juice manufacturers repurpose pomace in creative ways. It's often used as animal feed, compost, or even as an ingredient for secondary juice extraction. Some facilities introduce enzymes and water to draw out any remaining juice, ensuring every last bit of goodness is used. With the juice successfully extracted, it's time to filter, refine, and perfect it before it reaches store shelves. Freshly squeezed apple juice is raw, unfiltered, and cloudy. While some brands sell it this way, calling it unfiltered apple juice or apple cider, however, most commercial juice undergoes multiple filtration steps. The first stage uses a plate and frame filter press, a machine that strains out large apple particles. Next, the juice is treated with enzymes to break down pectin and starches, which contribute to cloudiness. Finally, ultra-fine mesh filters remove microscopic particles, giving the juice its signature crystal clear appearance. At this stage, the juice is still fresh but highly perishable. If left untreated, it would start fermenting within a few days. That's where pasteurization comes in. In ancient times, apples were pressed using wooden hand-crank presses, producing an unfiltered juice that had to be consumed quickly. Before refrigeration, fresh apple juice had an incredibly short shelf life. It naturally fermented into cider due to its high sugar content and exposure to wild yeasts. It wasn't until Louis Pasteur's breakthroughs in the 19th century that people realized they could heat juice to kill bacteria and prevent fermentation. This discovery paved the way for modern pasteurization, allowing apple juice to stay fresh without turning into cider. Today, the freshly extracted apple juice is rapidly heated to around 75 degrees Celsius for about 15 seconds, then just as quickly cooled down. This brief but intense heat exposure eliminates harmful bacteria, yeasts, and molds that could cause spoilage, all without overcooking the juice or altering its taste. Thanks to this technique, commercially produced apple juice can now last for weeks or even months, depending on how it's packaged. Speaking of packaging, pasteurization works hand in hand with airtight bottling and aseptic storage to lock in freshness, ensuring that every sip tastes just as good as the day it was made. With pasteurization complete, it's time for the final step, bottling and packaging, where the juice is sealed for freshness and prepared for its journey to store shelves. The juice moves through high-speed filling machines, which pour precise amounts into different types of containers. Some juices go into plastic bottles, which are lightweight and convenient. Others are filled into glass bottles, often used for premium juices. There's also aseptic cartons, a type of specialized packaging that keeps juice fresh without refrigeration by blocking out light and air. Commercially bottled apple juice first appeared in the 1920s and 1930s, becoming more widely available as refrigeration and bottling technology improved. Before this, apple juice was mostly homemade or sold fresh, with a short shelf life. Thanks to these advancements, juice could now be stored longer and distributed to more people, leading to its rise as a household staple. Once filled, each container is immediately sealed to prevent oxygen exposure, because even a tiny amount of air can affect the juice's taste and shelf life. Labels are applied, barcodes are printed, and each bottle or carton goes through a final round of quality inspection to check for leaks, mislabels, or imperfections. Finally, the packaged juice is stacked into cases, loaded onto pallets, and sent off to grocery stores around the world. And all that's left is to enjoy it. Apple juice may seem like a simple drink, but depending on where you are in the world, it can look and taste very different. In Germany, apple juice is rarely enjoyed on its own. Instead, it's commonly mixed with sparkling water to create Apfelschorle, a refreshing, bubbly drink that's lighter and less sweet than pure juice. This popular thirst quencher is a staple at restaurants, cafes, and even sporting events. The French prefer their apple juice in its most natural form. Jus de pomme is typically unfiltered, giving it a slightly cloudy appearance and a richer, more complex flavor. You'll often find it served at breakfast tables or enjoyed alongside pastries for a light, fruity pairing. Apple juice in Japan is thicker and more nectar-like, often resembling a fruit puree rather than a clear juice found in other countries. Japanese brands take great pride in highlighting regional apple varieties such as Aomori apples, which are known for their intense sweetness and depth of flavor. In the US, apple juice is highly filtered and pasteurized, giving it a crystal clear appearance and a smooth, mild taste. It's commonly packaged in juice boxes and marketed toward children, though it's also sold in larger bottles for families. While apple juice may start with the same ingredient, apples, the way it's processed and enjoyed varies widely, reflecting cultural preferences and local traditions around the world. Technology is constantly evolving in the juice industry. Some facilities now use cold press extraction, a method that minimizes heat exposure to preserve more nutrients and flavor. Others are experimenting with high-pressure processing, HPP, which uses extreme pressure instead of heat to extend shelf life while maintaining fresh taste. Sustainability is also a growing focus. Some juice companies are using solar energy to power their processing plants, while others are investing in biodegradable packaging to reduce environmental impact. With new apple varieties being developed and advancements in processing, the apple juice industry continues to grow. Some companies are exploring fortified apple juices enriched with vitamins and probiotics, catering to health-conscious consumers. Others are reviving traditional methods, selling raw, unpasteurized apple juice for those who prefer a more old-fashioned taste. So, the next time you take a sip of apple juice, think of the journey from orchard to bottle. A simple drink, yet crafted with care. Thanks for sticking till the end. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more.